Hello. So I want to share with you why IFS has been a game changer for me, and the one thing that I think most people miss that actually stops people from accessing self, actually finding that freedom that we all kind of look for. And I remember not even that long ago, I'd been through so many different types of therapy, talking therapy, gestalt therapy, letting go by David Hawkins, which I really think complements IFS, shadow work, all of these types of therapy. But it wasn't until I discovered IFS or internal family systems or parts work that everything seem to fall into place. And I think that all of that other therapy did lay a foundation for me, but it was the IFS that broke the was the straw that broke the camel's back. It was the final straw. And I want to share that this realization is what actually changed everything for me. So we understand parts work. We start to understand it logically. We say to ourselves, okay, well, that's a part of me that wants to go to the gym, or that's a part of me that sabotages. And that's all very well. Like we can get into that. But the issue is that a lot of these parts, and this is what I want to get into, is that these parts are driven by unconscious motivations. So a lot of the time, even though, yeah, we can work on them directly ourselves, a lot of what we're doing is trying to logic them. So we're just saying, don't be like that. There's a part of me that wants to sabotage, wants to criticize me. Don't do that, please. I don't like that. And even just having that conversation with it and understanding it, that begins this process of letting go. But the issue is the resistance to the part. That's the key. And look, guys, before I carry on, I really want you to subscribe to the channel. It encourages me to make more videos like this, and it actually helps the algorithm so more people can see this kind of content. And I feel like this is what the world needs right now. Let's face it, a lot of people are divided, but I want to get into that. So please subscribe. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So it's the relationship with the part. That's the key. That's what I didn't understand. I think a lot of people miss that because we have this logical, conceptual model of the mind that it's these sub-personalities. We're divided into parts and we go, okay, that's all very well. But I feel like with my background on shadow work and understanding unconscious motivations and letting go, I started to notice that it wasn't just the part itself, but it was my feeling towards the part. And I know that's quite, there is a lot of emphasis in that, on that, in IFS and No Bad Parts by Richard Schwartz. I don't think that that actually gets enough emphasis. I think that that is the key, is that understanding that it's our relationship with the parts, but it's this unconscious resentment that we have towards these parts. So the key question is, how do you feel about these parts? You know, when you're doing your therapy, that's the game changer. That's the difference. Because you may not realize that you don't like these parts. And that sounds strange because, yeah, these parts, this critic is causing a lot of trouble in your life. But it's that unconscious not wanting it to be there. That's what keeps it alive. And it goes back to what Carl Jung said, what you resist persists. So it's this unconscious trying to get rid of it. We're trying to exile these parts. But what we really should be doing, and this is why this is crucial to understand, is that welcoming it back into that family and saying there is a place for you. You are seen, you are heard. Just having that presence with it is what reintegrates these parts and helps them drop these burdens that they take on. And another big realization is the idea of judgment. So the realization is that when you see these parts for what they're doing, what judgment really is and what it's really saying is that you should not be like that. It's comparison. So that judgment is also just another part of you being like, I should be good at parts work. This should work. You're judging yourself for whether you're good at this as well. That's just another part that's coming in. And I think that that's probably the most dangerous part. I've done another video on that. I would call that part the fixer. And I don't think we give enough emphasis to that part because we don't realize how much that's actually controlling the whole system. When Richard Schwartz talks about that family therapy, it could be that fixer is in the room also being like gauging whether we do this properly or not, whether it's working or not. So that being conscious of that as well And the key question is, how do you feel about these parts? And then just seeing what comes up and being very honest and open and having that no judgment attitude. Because what you'll see is that when you're out and you're in the world, it's the judgment of situations that causes this internal conflict. And it's so subtle. But let's say, for example, you're out and you're driving and you see the road rage. And what we'll quickly go to, if we're speaking of road rage, you can hear someone drive. What you'll notice is that you quickly jump to that part that says, "Oh, well, he shouldn't be driving like that. What an idiot!" Or you could be saying something much worse, right? But what you're doing is you're actually, it's still a part of you that's projecting and reflecting on that. Your part is reacting to something outside. So what we start to notice, what I noticed, is the inner world is the outer world. It's so crazy to think this, but it is that way. Because if you didn't have that rejection of that part of you, you wouldn't be reacting to his road rage. You would just see him as somebody that's going through something, if that makes sense. It's like you have compassion. So compassion, therefore, is no judgment. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like you stop judging other people, and then you stop judging these parts. When you stop judging these parts inside of you, and you have love for them, no judgment, compassion, they relax. Then you relax for other people, and people respond to that. Like Richard Schwartz says in No Bad Parts, it's like an X-ray vision. You start to see the conflict in other people, and it's beautiful. So that's the emphasis. So one last thing is to kind of recap and say what I'm trying to say in this video in a roundabout way, is the relationship you have with the parts is the key. You're going to have all of these different parts that want different things, and they have unconscious motivations. But the key is your resentment towards them and how welcoming you are to them and giving them space to be as they are, because there's no bad parts, right? So I hope that makes sense. If there's any questions, comment below. If you want to book a call with me, free call, check the link in the description box in my bio. And subscribe, comment, like. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.